I don't know. Did you hear that joke when he was making fun of Ethan Hawke in this? And I said, "Damn, you were spot on, man. How come I didn't see that?"
It's so strange. Little haircut, little silly tash there. It's very Ned Flanders.
He's like, "Hey, come on, man."
I was thinking that when he showed the earlier scene.
Yeah. And he took offense to that too. You see how he looked?
Little silly tash there. It's very Ned Flanders.
You're like, okay, I don't care how crazy you are. I'll beat your ass. You ain't that crazy making them jokes over there. And plus, you kind of right, because he does like that.
Oh, for sure.
He does like oodly doodly. Oh, let's go ahead and talk about Moon Knight, y'all. We told y'all that we had to wait quite a while to get to episode 5 because we were watching episodes 1 through 4. Mm-hmm. I liked it. You liked it even more than me. Mm-hmm. You gave it a full price. I gave it a matinee, probably a high matinee. But hey, favorable all around.
Yeah.
We were saying it's not bad at all, and it should be viewed. It should be watched by people out there.
Thank you.
Lost the contact lens.
Hope you find it.
Get me out of here.
Ain't even on floor. So I'm gonna knock on the first goddamn door I see. Help! Crazy mother on the floor. Help! Yeah, people. Oscar Isaac. First of all, this episode, Oscar Isaac back in the asylum.
Yeah.
You remember he was up in that asylum in Sucker Punch, man.
Oh, that's right.
Messing with them poor girls up in there.
Well, he was running things.
Yeah, he was running things, but now he ain't running things no more. He's checked into the asylum. I got his ass in a jacket. Yeah, karma's a bitch, ain't it?
Goddamn.
For all those who are complaining out there right now, oh man, superhero movies, they doing the same shit all the time. You right about the movies, that is.
Yeah.
But these TV shows that they doing, I'm ready to admit, movies, at this point, I'm ready to say it. They kind of doing the same thing. But these these shows out here, these TV shows, oh, look at y'all trying to be smart. Trying to act like y'all got some sense. All right, okay. Yeah, I would tell even the most jaded critics out there right now, I would say, you know what? If you're feeling this way about the movies, I understand, but man, give these TV shows a chance.
Yeah, because they're taking chances. They're doing something different. As a matter of fact, if you got superhero fatigue, Moon Knight's the perfect show because a superhero barely shows up.
Yeah, people, I understand how you feel about these movies, but these TV shows out here, you'd be surprised at how insightful these shows are, these superhero shows. Right now I'm looking at The Boys on Amazon. I'm looking at HBO's Watchmen. Excellent shows, not just superhero shows, excellent shows. Yeah. The commentary that they have in there, they're thought-provoking, the social commentary that they do. Again, you'd be very surprised at how well-written and smart and insightful these shows are. But those shows that we're looking at right now, if those are too depressing for you, too bloody for you, then stroll your ass on over to Disney Plus. All them kiddie shows, now how much they got to say. People, I'm telling you, man, even their more family-friendly stuff over there on Disney Plus, they're even doing ambitious things.
They are.
Over there. From tackling issues like trauma in a sitcom parody.
It's twilight time.
People like, what the hell is this? And ended up having like...
Yeah, this is a superhero show? What?
Yeah. No, it was making fun of different sitcom formats and generations of sitcoms, and ended up being this whole thing about a woman who was traumatized, But also, there are other shows. You got like The Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is about PTSD and military fatigue, and also
racial injustice,
and racial injustice, and also you got the commentary about a redemption for a genocidal murderer. I don't know what to do with that one.
Yeah, when you put through Loki up there, I was like, all right, you're on your own now.
Hey, I don't really know what to say about that one. But it really did some cool stuff with his time travel and his whole thing with multiple dimensions. Listen, even with Loki, maybe that's not making some big social commentary, but it's
certainly different.
No, it's different. It's a great character-driven series, And all of these are doing things outside of the formula.
Yeah.
The formula that even Marvel is guilty of sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
They're just taking the multi-episode format and taking the advantage of being able to expand their stories and really doing some great things with it, I think. Moon Knight continues with that trend, man. But the thing with Moon Knight this time, and it is making some commentary, trying to bring at least a little bit of awareness to mental illness. You know, now listen, all these shows right here, they're still superhero shows. So let's not act like they're doing anything, you know, like these are revolutionary now. You know, they still gonna bring out some capes. There's still gonna be lasers and explosions. There's still gonna be CG, or in this particular case, talking hippo.
Yeah.
You know,
solving problems by punching.
Yeah, exactly. Moon Knight does spin. This is one of the series that I think, and taking as far as taking a darker approach to the story, this is the one that this is the episode Asylum, episode 5, and I'm not only going to say this episode, but I'm going to say out of all these series, this is the one that really more seriously starts to step away from the superhero stuff.
Yeah.
You hardly ever see Moon Knight up in here. You know, what they're doing is they're really focusing on the character and how his dissociative identity disorder impacts his life, which is probably going to suck for some people out there. For y'all who came in here looking for a superhero action show.
I know. Whenever somebody's like, man, this show sucks, I'm like, because you're not getting Moon Knight. I get it.
No, you know what? And I get it, because not only do some people come in here looking for a superhero action show, because I mean it was kind of pitched that way too. Y'all saw those teasers and trailers, you know, where they showed the costume coming on and they showed Moon Knight jumping over buildings with that Disney Plus logo. You know, but and instead y'all getting child abuse and mental illness. Man, people like
cult leaders.
Yeah, people like, man, I came here to see the Egyptian Batman. What the hell is this right here? Instead, I'm looking at a kid getting his ass beat to insanity. We're kind of spoiling things a little bit. I'm gonna try to back off. I'm just gonna say, and it's gonna be short. I'll leave this for some people who just want to know what we think about the series so far. I don't know how you feel about this episode. If it made you like it even more, you still feel the same, or you like it less. This is my favorite episode so far.
Is that right?
Yes, I really loved episode 5, Asylum, simply because it is focusing more on the character.
Oh, absolutely. Because that is the question, you know, after going like, okay, you got Mark and Steven, the two personalities going back and forth, who's dominant, who's been doing stuff.
Yeah.
But then at some point you go like, wait, how did he get this way? That's one of the big mysteries of this whole show.
And they really do set up a lot. I mean, there's some M. Night Shyamalan stuff going on right here where they put clues early, not for you to find out anything, not for you to guess anything, but more in the sense of, I can go back and watch this at the beginning and start putting stuff together and seeing where they did put the clues out, not for me to predict, but they did put it out there as to what is going on with this guy.
Right, right.
And certain things that were not what they seemed. I can see why Oscar Isaac and Ethan Hawke took this. Now, Oscar Isaac, he's already been dressed up in a bunch of rubber in a terrible superhero movie, so I ain't gonna say he's just gonna, you know, oh, he's above this. But Ethan Hawke, that's the actor's actor.
Sure.
Ethan Hawke has turned down projects that could probably got him a lot of money, a lot of fame, because he just didn't want to be in, and you know, he didn't want to be in that because he didn't get a chance to act. But he's here.
Yeah, outside of Before Sunrise or those movies, he's not a franchise guy.
No.
You don't see him in sequels to anything.
And if he's in something that's a blockbuster or a franchise, he's usually saying, I want to act with that person. Is my boy Denzel there? You know, okay, I'll act with him. Movie probably gonna be shit, but whatever. I'll be there with him. But he is, man, he is great in this.
Yeah.
He's got a couple of different roles that he plays here. And Ethan Hawke, who, by the way, we just saw Ethan Hawke in The Northman.
Oh,
this
nice.
dude transforms into different people, man.
Well, that's what you want from an actor.
Yeah.
Where they come in and they take over a character, not where they are, oh, it's Ethan Hawke in this movie.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly.
You know, you get your Nicolas Cage for something like that.
Oscar Isaac is great, man. He's playing two different roles who are pretty much the same people, but he's playing against himself.
Yeah.
And it's just what he's doing here is a great role, man. And I can see, and I bet he said, man, look, I'm done. I don't want to do the superhero shit again. It bit me in the ass last time. But this time around, this is probably, out of all their shows, this is probably the one that is most for actors.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, and he, you know, you talk about Ethan Hawke. Oscar Isaac is an actor's actor. I mean, the guy you can put him in something and he rises to the occasion and goes above and beyond. And for him, I would imagine, yeah, he might have felt like, superhero thing, and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Also, it's like, well, okay, here's a chance to redeem what I did last time, to erase that. But the challenge to play two different characters, especially one with a British accent, he was just like I can't resist this. I got to go for it.
Yeah, I thought it was a little too frantic for me, this series, but it did get better for me with episode 5. And like I said, episode 5 is more character-based.
Sure.
Instead of superhero-based. So be warned. Now we're about to get into the spoiler discussion. So be warned that if you are going into this looking for the formula superhero movie, this is almost like the anti-formula superhero movie.
I watched this, and I'm not even watching it for the superheroics. As a matter of fact, when he changes into Moon Knight, I had that feeling like, all right, let's go ahead and get through this part.
Exactly.
We get back. Because outside of him being, the Moon Knight, everything with the gods and the adventure of just what they're looking for, on top of all the psychological character stuff, I find engaging. I'm all into that.
They're definitely giving you a history on Egyptian mythology and gods and whatnot, because a lot of this stuff is based on on real stuff. But yeah, whenever he and listen, I'm not trying to be some hipster here who doesn't like superheroes. I love superheroes, and believe me, I don't have a problem watching superhero stuff all day. But it is to the point where, like, I've seen a lot of superhero stuff, and even I'm a little tired, slightly fatigued. So whenever Moon Knight comes up, I'm just like, okay, do your moon shit and go on somewhere. Yeah, all right, beat up a CG creature and get somewhere. This is not what this is. Now, going into episode 5, which is what we're about to do a spoiler discussion on. So if you haven't got that far yet, you don't want to know anything, then it's a good chance to bow out. Hey, if you want to listen anyway, don't say we didn't warn you, but it should be fun to talk about this. And it's always going to be fun to go and watch it yourself anyway. But just to get people caught up on this episode 5, again called Asylum. In this particular episode, Mark figures that he's going crazy because he finds himself in an asylum talking to a doctor that looks like the cult leader that shot his ass, who again looks like Ethan Hawke.
But the doctor's saying to him, so you're seeing Egyptian gods and you say I shot you, and man, none of that happened.
Get his ass. Tranquilize him. No, wait. But and he's not sure, because he's like, hey, man, if I'm crazy, then fine. I'll deal with this. But if I'm not, that means that cult leader is out there trying to bring back some Egyptian goddess to reign over the world. Bring some other apocalypse or something. It's not good, whatever he's doing. But it turns out, another thing that's crazy right here. At this point, now, this voice in his head has manifested itself. Steven is now talking to Mark, and Mark is talking to Steven. They both have physical manifestations of themselves. So it turns out maybe some of this might be real and crazier, because both are being taken to Egyptian heaven now, which ain't nothing but a big-ass wheat field somewhere.
I got to say, they've thrown so many things in here. I don't feel comfortable about what is real and what's not.
No, because between hanging out in a big old field of wheat, what they say is paradise forever. I'm like, I don't want to hang out in a wheat field forever. I got to get something else, or get some corn up here.
Right.
They're talking to the Egyptian hippo goddess Taweret, the goddess of fertility, and she's telling him, she has him on a boat sailing the sand, saying, I'm taking you to paradise. But then she notices that it's raining souls, and she's like, oh shit, I think your boy, he's actually doing his thing. A lot of people on Earth are depressed, and that must mean that Haro must have his plan taking place and is active now. This show continues to be a really weird mix, and I will say that not all of it still works for me. But what does work is the way that this latest episode caught some people off guard because this is the dark ass episode, man. It's probably the darkest one that they have so far. You know, because as I said, listen, beforehand, man, everything's kind of fun. You know, I mean, this guy's still going through some illness and it's sad, but everything's kind of fun. I mean, you know, at first we're hanging out with this cartoony hippo right here, talking like a British nanny on a CG boat sailing in sand. Then shit flips all of a sudden. A kid dies. A mom starts to hate her kid. Dad's punk ass don't want to do nothing to help.
Except make cakes.
And when when I talk about mom is going off, if you've seen the episode, you know the story. Mark was told to take care of his little brother. Watch over your brother. And of course, being a kid, he ain't listening. He goes to his cave, kid drowns, and mom just lost.
You did this.
Yeah, mom lost her shit and hated him instantly.
Let him drown. This is all your fault. This is all your fault.
Shit. He's like, I'm getting the hell out of here. He ran. So your fault. Jumps out the window. Said, I'm running away. I'm doing the circus today. People like, what the hell happened? This was a fun little romp a little while ago. Now we beating this kid. You know, beating this kid to the point where he's sitting up here losing his mind. Because that's what happens, man. This might not seem this might not seem like it at first, but this really is one of the darkest things that Marvel has done on this on this show, or in these shows, man. You know, it's been, you know, we've had death, we've had violence, but this is a mom turning on her kid, and that's for even for kids who watch this, that's a traumatizing idea.
Sure.
You know, emotionally, it's very dark. And they keep going, man, because then after that part, like, it spirals into alcoholism and straight up physical child abuse.
Open the door right now! You're gonna learn to listen.
Oh, so she did.
You're like, no, you don't want to see that.
Yeah.
You don't want to see that ass whooping you getting right now.
What you getting, yeah.
Believe me, man, I was there.
This is not good.
You don't want to see that. She whooped that ass so hard, drove him insane.
Bloody hell. Look at the state of this place. Better sort it out before Mum sees it.
He's like, God damn, is that me?
Yeah.
What happened was he saw a poster. They have like an Indiana Jones type parody poster on the wall of a guy named Stephen Grant. And he saw the name to get away from all the beatings.
Yeah.
Which Marvel brought on a psychiatrist to come in and help guide them through dissociative
disorder.
Identity
disorder.
Dissociative identity disorder.
Yeah.
Because there's been, I'm not gonna say controversy, but there's been some discussions about this. But they are correct in the sense that a lot of DID comes from like abuse,
physical trauma.
Like so some of it's from sexual abuse, horrible physical abuse.
Yeah.
So this is a thing where people do retreat into a different place to escape that memory or that experience.
Right.
So that was kind of, you know, that was really cool. That's one of the things that's really cool about not making this a superhero thing. We follow this around in that we are really exploring this. And what Marvel is trying to do a respectful way and bringing almost awareness to it.
Sure.
I think that the show is asking us, challenging us to feel sympathy for the mom. Because they're trying to tell us like the mom is mentally broken too. Like she's not right.
Sure.
And I blame the dad. The dad was the one that was pissing me off. The dad was the worst one because he could have done something.
I always feel that way in a situation like this with that other parent who's like, come on, you got to step up for your kid.
Yeah, no, it was horrible. You know what was going on here. And dad, they got a father that doesn't do anything in here to help this kid.
Oh, mom, she'll be okay. Don't leave.
Yeah, hey, blow out your candles. I just got my ass whooped. Go up and tell that bitch something, man. Yeah. And it's hard, man, because they do a good job at coming in and really making you feel just terrible for this kid, because And I guess it's another hint that mom was probably mentally broken because she loved. I mean, she was looking out for the little brother all the time, but you could tell she loved her older kid.
Yeah.
There's a moment in here. I don't know if you remember from the first episode, but he's Steven's on the phone, and if you've seen this episode by this moment, we know that his mom hasn't been there the whole time. His mom.
Yeah, because he's talked about how it's his mom's flat that he's living in.
Yeah, she turns out she was dead the whole time.
Yeah,
like
that's what I thought.
she had Shiva, 7 days of mourning.
Right,
That's
right.
what the Jews do for the dead.
Right.
And he couldn't go see her. But there's a moment where he's talking to her on the phone, who's a person that's not even there. And he says, okay, Mom, later, Gator. Turns out that's the thing that he actually used to say to his mom. And his mom would lovingly say it back. He would say, he would tell her later, Gator, and she'd say after a while, Crocodile or some shit afterwards. But she was very nice about it, very loving.
What do? Keep an eye on your brother, okay?
Laters, Gators.
In a while, Crocodile.
He's like, he's looking at her like, wow, you gonna beat his ass later too, huh? But man, that's a happy memory for him. And you see him say that in the first episode, and so you see how hard it is to see his mom just turn on him like she did, because I don't think they had that relationship before.
Yeah.
There was a very loving relationship. So that goes to show, like, yeah, she did love him, but that just drove her kind of crazy once the kid died. And she really doesn't have any control over what she does. It's what it seems like. So like I said, man, that made me respect the show even more, the writing in the show even more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad for this character, man. And I love the way that they just drive it home, how all this stuff just made him snap. It made it convincing.
So with all this that's making him, mentally damaged to this point, once this is done and Moon Knight starts teaming up with the Avengers or doing stuff, are you going to feel like y'all are taking advantage of him?
Are they going to be like, don't let that crazy motherfucker... I ain't working with him. You can work with him. I'm talking to 3 different people at different times. I don't know. That's all right. You better get some better help. I'll tell you what's good for his mental health, though.
Well, you just said it, so it's like you better have an ad set up for this.
It's not better help, though.
Oh, damn it.
I'll tell you what's good for his mental health. A nice lawn, man. Just sit on the porch, just relax, be peaceful, looking at all that nice green grass. If Mark was able to get up and just wiggle his toes in that grass over there, he'd
be very zen.
There you go, very zen. He'd be at peace probably.
Sure.
Probably. If only Mom was here right now. After a while, Crocodile. I am being serious about the lawn, though. I've actually asked some friends of mine who saw this and asked me, what's going on with this this ad that you did for Sunday Lawn? And the thing with with Sunday. The reason why I'm talking about this is because, you know what? A lot of you are older now. I mean, we got a very young audience, but as we said, a lot of you are adulting. You got houses now. That means you got yards. And I'm going to tell you, when you get that yard, boy, don't nothing give you more pride than having that yard that the neighborhood looks at and about, oh, how they keep it so green. But the thing is, man, if you only knew about how, even when you do your lawn, how much chemicals you're putting in there to keep that lawn looking like that. Especially if you have kids or pets.
Yeah.
I told y'all before, I'm gonna tell you again, I had a guy come over and did a great job spraying the yard and getting rid of weeds and making it look nice back there. And I was proud. And Mia came out and she said, did he use chemicals? And I was like, I don't know. And she was like, what about the animals? Not just our dogs, but the squirrels. And she acted like I was committing genocide back there.
Hey, the squirrels are eating your internet.
Yeah, I need more chemicals back there. Nah, but we don't want to ruin anything. We don't, and plus we're looking at after our own health.
Sure.
Live plants and trees, they do lawn care, gardening, pest control. So, products for all of these things right there. So listen, do yourself a favor. Take all of that guesswork and take all that labor out of making your lawn look nice and pretty and start working with the custom plan that Lawn has put together for you. So go to getsunday.com/toasted to get 20% off your custom plan. I want to thank Sunday Lawn. I want to thank Sunday for sponsoring this portion of the show. And I want to thank all of you out there for all the support that you give us always. Getting back into this, you know, this they got, like I said, there's some very dark stuff, and even the office scenes earlier where we see Mark suffering, man, those even seem lighter than the child abuse parts, and he's suffering bad.
Yeah.
And I love those scenes, man, because Oscar Isaac and Ethan Hawke are so good. Oscar Isaac was, Ethan Hawke, before he was a cult leader, he was just kind of, you know, he was just kind of reserved and being that quiet, threatening bad guy. Man, when he finally got to the office, he got to play the dual role of the psychiatrist, the doctor.
Yeah.
Man, those two were great together. Ethan Hawke is such a great actor, man. Y'all know Oscar Isaac is one of my favorites.
Hey, thank you. I feel really great. I mean, they must pay you a lot of money.
Come get this
in this place. You're really good. I tell you what, I feel like $1 million. I am not your enemy!
You're like, what are they doing to me? So you see those, even when it got intense, they kind of kept it light.
Sure.
Which is why it was such a, you know, it was so hard hitting to see how
punch to see, yeah, how dark it was willing to go.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's all been fun and games up until you see what's really happening.
Yeah, and even when it starts to get dark in these scenes, like Oscar Isaac, when Steven comes in, you know, Steven's kind of goofy anyway, but Steven will start cracking on people, his goofy ass. There was I don't know, did you hear that joke when he was making fun of Ethan Hawke in this? And I said, damn, you were spot on, man. How come I didn't see that?
It's so strange. A little haircut, little silly tash there. It's very Ned Flanders.
He's like, hey, come on, man.
I was thinking that when he showed the earlier scene.
Yeah. And he took offense to that, too. Do you see how he looked?
Little silly tash there. It's very Ned Flanders.
You're like, okay, I don't care how crazy you are. I'll beat your ass. You ain't that crazy making them jokes over there. And plus, you kind of right, because he does like that.
Oh, for sure.
He does like oodly doodly. You know, with all the laughing that's going on with this character and all the comedy and all the superhero stuff, and of course, you know, it gets dark later, but there's been some discussion about, and I'm not saying it's a bad discussion to have, there's been some discussion about whether or not this is still the proper way to approach this mental illness, you know, combining it with the fantastical. And I think people should have that discussion. I mean, I myself, I don't think so, and I would love to hear what you have to say about it. You know, The Verge is one of these places that I saw this. I just caught this, and I said, interesting. I don't know if I agree with all of it, but I see what you're saying. It says how Moon Knight plays into Hollywood's obsession with dissociative identity disorder. And what they're saying is, you know, making it, combining it with the fantastical and with laughs and whatnot, might take away from the seriousness of it, or at least the way people perceive it, you know?
Well, I mean, the humor is something, it's almost like a Trojan horse, especially the way this episode seems to go, in that, yeah, there's times when you laugh and it seems a bit out there, but then it's not afraid to really get into the muck of it and just show, you know, how much people with it suffer. Yeah. I mean, you know, this talk, you know, Hollywood's obsession with it, but it is something that's so out there. How are you going to not? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you don't run into people like this all the time, and to have it, it's just like, wow, how could you not be intrigued by it? And you know, I mean, you're right. They do have a point. I'd hate to come down on something that's moving more towards getting it right than not, when they're actually, you know, using it, as opposed to so much in the past where it would be a superpower. And the first episode is one of the more comedic episodes, because we're spending time with Steven. It's almost like a Britcom, and yeah, he's goofy. But then and we're seeing what he's going through with his sleeping disorder, like having to chain himself up. But it's not until that's the point where he's excited, he's happy to go on that date, only to realize that shit was 3 days ago.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there, and we watch this guy go through all this and keep a stiff upper lip, and he's there, and he's on the verge of tears. And that's that's one of those moments where it brings it home. It's like, you know what? This is really not funny.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. You know, I think when I look at this and they talk about whether or not this is the right way to examine this or look at it, are we taking it too lightly? I would just say, think about the way that this just brought enlightenment to the term, because a lot of people use the term schizophrenic.
Exactly.
And I think when you brought this to when they bring this to the forefront, this is actually more enlightening for people, is bringing this to people who don't know about it. And, you know, maybe, and if this is popular, more people are going to look this up and find out more about it. And also, I mean, you know, we always talk about how we need to look at people as just more than just a sympathetic figure. Well, they managed to look at him as sympathetic and also heroic.
Yeah, true.
You know, this is a guy who's he's suffering from this from this illness, but he's still taking charge and trying to get things done. He's not asking for your sympathy. He's not that much of a tragic figure, although there are tragic things that happen in his life.
Yeah.
So I think that, you know, bringing in, this is almost educational for people in a way.
Right.
And it's a positive light that's happening right here. You know, I don't think Marvel is exploiting this at all.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm not mad at having the discussion. I'm not even saying, why'd y'all even bring that up?
No,
I'm not saying
not at all.
No, it's a good thing to bring up these questions.
It
and
actually
ask
really
them.
is good to bring up the discussion so that you don't have somebody else coming in going like, "Ooh, that looks fun. Let's do that with our character."
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you put some goddamn thought into this. Don't just throw it in there because you think it's cool.
And, you know, let's admit it, man. I mean, when you're trying to bring stuff to these superheroes and make them more complex, that's hard to turn down. Saying, let's bring in a character with dissociative identity disorder, you know, and use that to add some complexity to them.
Yeah.
As long as we don't, again, exploit it and use it as a crutch or use it as a cheap way to make them, you know, funny or scary. Are sympathetic in that case. Yeah, you know, so I get why you're bringing it up, but yeah, I don't think that they're doing a disservice here, man. I don't think they're doing a disservice at all. You didn't get to this part, and I'm going to spoil this for you. I'm sorry, as I read it there, having a spoiler discussion, but Steven dies.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, it's weird.
Shit.
It's weird because Steven is the same person as Mark. They're the same people.
Right.
But that personality dies later on. He's tipped over the ship. So the hippo tells them, you know, if you've seen this episode, they have this scale that needs to be balanced. And if the scale's off balance, then that means that your heart is off balance, and that means that you got to get off this ship, and you are cursed to be frozen, and cursed to be frozen in the sands forever. And with this, let me see right here. And with this, Steven is knocked over into the sand. I don't say a whole lot about it, but he's knocked over to the sand, and that's almost a good thing in a way. And I'll explain for that in a little while. But even though it's good, it's still sad because Steven's the first one that we're introduced to. And Steven is the one that is like...
I think of Steven as the personality,
yeah.
which clearly when we go back through the past, he wasn't.
He's not. But it's even knowing that he's not real and the character is still alive in some form, that's like, damn, I'm going to miss that dude. Now, what happens after that is that the scale becomes balanced. The scale needs to be balanced in order to go to paradise. The scale becomes balanced, and it was like, all right, you know what? That's the sad thing about it. And by the way, man, that made me sad. It's the same way I felt about Bing Boing and Inside Out.
Yeah,
when he died, I'm like, I know he ain't real, but damn, he was real to me.
Yeah.
Take her to the moon for me, okay?
I was like, oh man, I know he ain't real, but damn it, that got to my heart right there.
They get you with that scene. That's the Pixar scene.
that is. I was like,
man, y'all ain't making me cry this time.
Yeah, no, we're gonna make you cry. We're gonna make you cry over a fake character. That's a fake character. Just disappeared into them balls right there, man. Yeah, that's the way I felt about Steven, man. Thing is, it was really complicated with Steven because Steven retreated into this character because of his abuse.
Right.
The scales got balanced because he was gone. It's like, damn, y'all killed this character, but that's hard because that was what was probably needed. Steven needed to get rid of this. Mark needed to get rid of this character, this guy, to let go of the trauma that he was experiencing. And it's crazy because they talk about how you have to be pure of heart, and it just brings up questions like, okay, well, so what's pure of heart about Mark? Because Mark is a murderer.
Sure.
You know, they in the show they talk about like his alter ego Stevens. He's in a room looking at people like, God, man, you killed all these people. You killed the whole cafeteria.
Well, now you don't understand. I love how Mark's always like, well, it didn't really go down like that.
Yeah.
You a goddamn lie.
You killed all of them? They were criminals, murderers, predators, the worst of the worst.
And he's like, yeah, you said, you full of shit, man. One of these people pissed you off. One of these people cut you off in traffic or something. There's a lot of people, man, right here.
That's a lot.
It makes me wonder what is so pure heart about him, man. You know, because
that's the thing. Harrow has been saying that Khonshu picked him because his mind was broken.
And he didn't want to do it. That's what I was thinking. He says, I didn't want to do this. I tried to do the right thing. In fact, when I died, I was trying to protect people.
Yeah.
And I was going to kill myself because I felt so bad about it. So, you know, that's probably the thing that he didn't want to do it. And Khonshu is the real bad guy here.
Yeah.
You know, I like that because now I want to know what's going to happen because the scales need to be balanced to pass into paradise. And he's like, I can't go into paradise. You got to get me off this ship so I can stop this crazy ass cult leader over here. So it ends on a great cliffhanger there, man. Where it's like, all right, you know, because the hippo says, I ain't got no power. I can't take you off this shit. And if you jump overboard, you're going to either be frozen in sand for eternity, or when you go back to your body, there's a bullet hole in you. You're going to die.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so it's like, well, we don't know. Hey, man, you either way. So speaking of that hippo, man, that's the thing that is that I'm still kind of mixed on right here because there's so many dark moments in this episode, but then they go back to this hippo, and even though it's realistic looking, it's very cartoonish and
sure, especially with her voice.
And
even their reaction, they're both
yeah. And the animation, because this is television now, this is Disney, but we talk about how that shows look like movies, but the animation on that character is still. It's not the best.
Sure.
You know, that's the only thing that's really throwing me off right there. I do like something that the character did though. The character did put a nice Easter egg in there that I thought was cool. I don't know if you remember this part, but I was like, oh shit, reference.
This is the afterlife? The afterlife?
An afterlife, not the. Like the ancestral plane. Oh, just gorgeous.
Yeah, the Black Panther. Ancestral plane.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I do like when she moves. It's not.
Well, they do a thing with the ears.
The ears. I definitely don't want to come in and talk bad about the animators because they did pay a lot of attention to detail right here. Like when she's talking, those ears move all the time, man, especially when she gets excited. So, you know, it's still a little bit, for what they do here, probably more on the cartoony side for me. It takes me out of the show sometimes, but nothing that ruins anything for me. You know, so yeah, man, this is the one. Anybody who's complaining about superhero movies, and again, this is not, probably won't convince people because it's still like a talking hippo, still some fantasy stuff going on. But man, I would definitely tell people, go out there and watch Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Moon Knight's doing some really cool things, man. And this is my favorite episode so far. I think this is a full price episode for me.
Wow.
Yeah, people. And turn this on to people who have superhero fatigue. They might be pleasantly surprised at how well this show is done, man. It might be a little crazy for them in some parts, but definitely worth a chance for some people out there who want something a little different. Hey, everyone, support our Patreon, which helps us to continue bringing you our live streams, videos, and podcasts while bringing you new content such as exclusive live streams and animated shorts.